Hello. Today we're going to talk about IELTS Speaking Part 3, which is the third section of the IELTS Speaking exam. In this 5-minute section of the test, you're going to be answering around 4 to 5 questions. Also, check the timestamps in case you want to scroll through this video and just look at the sections that are relevant for you. Now, the IELTS Speaking Part 3 section, what I would say is while Part 1, we want to focus on like a personal interview, some personal information about ourselves. Part 2 is going to be a personal experience. I would say Part 3 is talking about other people's points of view in general. And what I find to be very helpful with this section of the test, as well as the other sections, is focus on our timing. So if you're expected to answer 4 or 5 questions in about 4 or 5 minutes, having an answer that is roughly 1 minute is a good idea. And I also think it's important to have some sort of structure or template to follow. The template to follow for this section, as I recommend, would be to rephrase the question and then share 2 points of view for roughly 10 seconds to rephrase and 20 seconds for each of those points of view. Well, you'll come to around 50 seconds, which is right where you want to be. And as far as vocabulary, because everybody always wants to know about vocabulary, I don't recommend to worry about vocabulary related to each of those different topics that you might be asked. But vocabulary that you can use for any answer would be about generalizing and distancing. So words like in general, generally speaking, for the most part, a large majority of, by and large, almost all. These words are incredibly helpful because you're letting the examiner know that you're speaking about a group of people in general, and you're not talking about yourself. So now let's take a look at a sample together. And I'm going to choose the topic of shopping. So the question might be, how have people's shopping habits changed over the past 5 years? Before I answer this question, I want to go through this brainstorming process with you. So words like shopping habits, changed, over the past 5 years. These are key words in the question. So over the past 5 years, I can paraphrase that as the last half decade. When I say changed, I can say have gone through changes. See what I've done? I've changed that verb form to a noun form. And shopping habits. Shopping habits, I might want to paraphrase it by defining it, is the way people shop. So when I want to give an introduction, what I want to do is I want to rephrase it to let the examiner know that I understand the question. I want to paraphrase to show the examiner the flexibility with my vocabulary. And by doing this, by taking 10 to 15 seconds, what I'm actually doing is I'm giving myself some time to think. And so next, I want to think about different points of view and different types of people who do different types of shopping for different reasons. And in my mind, what comes to my mind first is people who like to shop online and people who like to shop at stores. How have their habits changed in the past 5 years? So when I think about people who shop online, I think there's a lot more daily shopping, especially because of COVID. There's more grocery shopping online. And people who are shopping in stores, I see people using QR codes or their wallets on their telephones. So now I want to take those words I paraphrased for my introduction, and then I want to take those points of view that I brainstormed for the body, and I want to put it together in a 45-second to 60-second response. Well, there have been many changes made in the way people go shopping, especially over the past half decade. Well, I first think about online shoppers. If I were to ask them, they would say that there are more websites and apps available to buy a variety of things. I know many people didn't buy groceries over the internet before, but now some of them do. And people who go into shops, they have many options. they would find the use of QR codes to be really convenient. And they might say that there are more e-wallet options now than there used to be in the past. So for making it to the end of the video, here are a list of questions that you can work on. Think about how you want to rephrase those questions for your introduction. Think about which points of view. Let me know in the comments how you do, and if there's any topics you're interested in, please sure to let me know. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe button for more, and see you in the next video.